What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another LilBigMan Gaming's review of Friday Night Smackdown. So, with that being said, we did get a return this episode. I think I said it on my Raw review that we haven't had a return in a minute, and we did. We got one this week. That was probably about. It was probably like the most. It was probably the most. That was probably like other than like some good matches. That was like the biggest things that happened on the show. But let's get into it. They started off with Sami Zayn versus Sheamus. But before Sami Zayn came out, and then the Bloodline cut another promo, basically talking about the same stuff that they did on Monday about them winning War Games, and Sami was trying to, he was trying to uplift them, saying that they wouldn't have done it without the longest reigning tag team champions. But Jimmy interrupted, said, "No, we're not about to do that. We told you, Sammy, this ain't about us. This is about you, because you're the MVP. They were chanting your name, and we was literally, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have won that match." And Jay even talked about how he never liked Sammy, and he didn't trust him, didn't like him, but that after what he did at Survivor Series War Games, he earned Jay's respect. And Jay, genuinely was saying that he meant, and he was genuine about it. He meant it, that Sammy earned his respect. And the reason why I say that because of what happened later on in the night that I get to later. But they would be interrupted by Sheamus, who would come out and basically tell Sammy he hates to do this to another fellow ginger, but he will have a smile on his face by the end of the night, and that he said the time for talk is over. It's fight night, and let's do this. And they got in the ring and started the match. They had a good opening match, but the big thing here was the continued storytelling of the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, all of them being on the same page, no more cracks, and they working as a team, and that's what they did here. They showed that perfectly with the announcers Wade Barrett and Michael Cole putting over how Jay is legit, genuinely working with Sami Zayn and trying to help Sami Zayn, and that would pay off for Sami Zayn. He would actually end up beating Sheamus with the help of Jay. Jimmy and Solo was helped too, but they did more of the distraction help. Jay actually hit a super kick on Sheamus while the referee wasn't watching, allowing Sammy to get the pinfall victory. After the match, they had a backstage interview with Kofi Kingston, who basically announced that, because the backstage interviewer said that Kofi Kingston had an announcement to make, and the announcement was that he was announcing himself as the first participant, or the first wrestler to announce himself for the Royal Rumble. I think that's the next pay-per-view. I don't think they have any more. They still haven't brought back a December pay-per-view, so they just go directly to the Rumble, which is next month, and it's not even at the beginning of next month or anything like that. I think they said the Royal Rumble is not until the 28th. I'm like, holy crap, that's a long time. But yeah, Kofi announced that he was the first participant, but he would get interrupted by Giovanni and Ludwig Kaiser, and they would basically taunt him and tell the interviewer why would she ask for Kofi Kingston's opinion or someone's opinion who's made a mockery of the square circle in him in New Day. Kofi said he would normally, if his partner was here, he announced that Xavier Woods wasn't here, they would have challenged both of them to a tag team match. But since he's not, he's challenged them to a one-on-one match, and he asked who would it be. He did the whole whoo stick, and ended up being it was funny because he was going whoo all confident, and then he went whoo and then that's because Gunther showed up, and Gunther said it was going to be him. Then once that was set up, then they went to Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt cut a promo saying, talking about how we basically about us ignoring our basic animal instincts, saying that the modern day society and technology has spoiled us because he said before all that we was basic nothing but animals, and now we act all proper, and we bottle that up and we keep it deep inside us, but it's still there. Then he talked about how he wasn't the one who hurt LA Knight, and they sold the flashbacks. I want to say I did not know. I missed that last week because they sold the first time LA Knight got hurt, but I did not realize that after. Because I think I talked about it in my last Friday Smackdown review that LA Knight got hurt. LA Knight said that as it wasn't for him getting hurt, he would have done something to Bray Wyatt. I did not know that later on that night he got hurt again or got beat up again. So when I saw that for the first time, I was like, oh crap, I missed that. When did that happen? So, but yeah, in the little flashbacks, once Bray Wyatt said I didn't hurt LA Knight, they saw two, both times he got hurt. And then it cuts back to Bray Wyatt saying that, but he revealed that had he been the one to hurt LA Knight, there would be nothing left. And I like the little dramatic music they had and stuff. Then we got to the second match of the night, which was Shayna Baszler versus Emma. I like how they slowly revealing, slowly implementing Madcap and Emma's relationship on screen. They trying to play it off like Madcap and Emma are just friends, but we all know that in real life, Madcap and Emma are actually dating each other. Or Riddick Moss, as I call him. That's what I like to call him. Emma last week was there for Madcap in his match against Karrion Kross. He was there backstage for her. Before her, they had like a little backstage promo where he was just, telling her she's Emma. Without the women's revolution wouldn't be nowhere without her contribution. And then, she gave him a little peck and went out for her match. She had an actually decent match against Shayna Baszler. It was better than I thought it was going to be, and it lasted longer than I thought it was going to be. But in the end, she would get beat by Shayna. But this would because Shayna would try to beat her up after the match. This would bring out Chauncey Blackheart, who came out to try to save Emma. But Emma was down, and Shayna took advantage and basically was about to do the same thing to Chauncey. But then Raquel Rodriguez came running down to the ring, and then by that point, Emma had gotten back up, and Chauncey was on the. Chauncey just. I think Chauncey got up. I think when Raquel came down, Shayna let go of her hand before she could, the deal with Raquel. But then Raquel and them just stood tall, and then she got out the ring. Was like, it took three of y'all. Then we got the Gunther. We got the Gunther versus Kofi match, and that match was actually pretty good. It was actually good. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good, decent match. It actually went the distance, and it went through 2 commercial breaks, and it actually, for the first time, Kofi actually looked good as a singles competitor again. Because he even kicked out of Gunther's powerbomb, and Gunther kicked out of some moves from Kofi, some good moves that were usually in the match from Kofi. Gunther kicked out, and so did Kofi. But in the end, Gunther would win with a new move. I forgot what they called it. Michael Cole said it was I think it was like the Symphony or something like that. He did a new finisher and beat Kofi with that. But Kofi looked good as a singles competitor. That we got a promo now. This is the return promo. We got a promo of the return of a return. Well, the return happened a little bit into the promo, but we got a promo for Damage Control, who came out and talked about how they didn't want to be there, but that they talked about how they don't like the fact that Becky, how Damage Control was in a match for almost 90. I think they said. I think she said like 90 for a combined of 96 minutes. And she was like, you know what that does to our bodies and stuff like that. But yet Becky was only in there for a cup of coffee, and she gets all the praise and adulation while they don't. But since the women's division needs role models, we here to be your role models. This will bring out Liv Morgan, who came out to confront them, saying that, hey, you look like it seems like you have a problem with the Smackdown women's division, and since you do, she says, is 1, 2, 3. It's 3 of you. She said that seems fair, and threw down the microphone and ran down to the ring, and which continues the story that they've been telling with Liv Morgan, with her being after losing the women's championship back to Ronda. She's been on this like destructive, edgier course, and she continued that here by knowingly going into a situation that she can't win, and she got beat up for the most part. But then the return happened. Someone's music hit, and you knew it was a return because Michael Cole and them said, what? Who's that? Who's this? And the camera cut, and all you see on there is Tegan Knox. Tegan Knox is back in WWE, and she ran down to the ring to help Liv Morgan. They even brought her how she got history with Dakota Kai. They beat her up a little bit because Liv Morgan was down at the point. So the numbers got to her, but Liv Morgan got back up with a kendo stick to even the odds, and Tegan Knox hit the Science Wizard on Bailey to send the Damage Control out the ring and stand tall. So at this point, you can safely say I wanted to put this out there. You got SmackDown. I said SmackDown versus Raw. You got WWE 2K22. Half that roster is basically back in WWE now. Half that. Cause remember a big chunk of that roster was basically released from the company, and now more than half of those people. Because I'll put it to you this way, it was more like when the next game come out, you knew some of those people wasn't going to be in the next game because it was released. Now some of those people that you didn't think was going to be in the game, it is going to be in the game now because they back in the company. But then we got a backstage promo with Sami Zayn and them. They was getting ready to leave to go get something to eat, but Jay and Jimmy told Sammy to head on out first. They'll meet him with Solo because they need because Solo's been because they I'm about to say Solo's like the security guard, and they said let him do his job because you've been making a lot of enemies lately, and Solo can handle that. So Solo and them said they was cool with it, and they were left. But someone pointed out online that Solo wasn't wearing. I didn't notice it until someone pointed it out. Solo wasn't wearing the colors. Excuse me. Solo wasn't wearing the colors or the Bloodline T-shirt, so maybe some dissension there, slowly building. But Jimmy, of all people, so concerned once Sammy and Solo left. Him and Jay had a conversation. He said, I can't believe that you, of all people, are finally on board and embrace Sammy. He was like, yeah, I thought I'd never see the day, but here we are. I'm actually kind of like him, and whatnot. And Jay was like, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do about Sammy lying to your face, though? And Jay said, you know what? the Roman said he looked him in his eyes and seen what he needed to see, and he came through and helped us win that Survivor Series. They adapted each other up to that, but then they would get beat up by Sheamus, and who told them that if they get past Riddle and Elias Monday, they would have to face him and Drew McIntyre Friday for the championship as well, which was announced during the main event that will be taking place. That next Friday, the winner between Jay and Jimmy and Riddle and Elias will have to defend the titles against Sheamus and Drew on Friday. We get to the main event, which is the finals of the Smackdown World Cup. Ricochet versus Santos Escobar, and this match was just as much of a spectacular as I thought it would be, because it's Santos and Ricochet. They worked very well together, very high flying moves. This match paid off for the better, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. It was worthy of a main event, and Ricochet would get the victory over Santos, making him the winner of the tournament and the number one contender for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship, which, as he was at the top of the round celebrating with the pyro and all that he won the World Cup, Gunther would come out to confront him, and he said, they ended the show by him telling Gunther, first this and now that. I promise you, I don't lie. And that was it. SmackDown was pretty good. This was a pretty good SmackDown. It was just, it wasn't better than Raw, but it did have a return. And for me personally, it might not be for you. Probably for most people, that return meant nothing. But for me, I actually think Tegan Knox was underutilized under the Vince McMahon reign, and that hopefully Triple H will utilize her better, like he did at NXT, because Tegan Knox was one of the women I wanted to see up on the main roster. Tegan Knox is one of the women I want to see will eventually hold the SmackDown or Raw Women's Championship, either or. I want to see her as Women's Champion one day, and hopefully Triple H can put her on that right path. With that being said, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 big ups. I was gonna upgrade to the 8, but it would be that was just because I like the return. So that was the best thing for me on this show, was the Tegan Knox return. So I'm gonna still give it a 7 out of 10 big ups. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed this video, hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed the video so much, you want to support the channel, you know what to do, guys. Hit those buttons, and as always, any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere, because I got more reactions and gameplay coming up for you. And eventually, I'm going to do the Kalisto Protocol, and I'm going to get to some more gameplay, some games too. Evil West. Still going to do the core. Still going to finish Dying Light 2. Doing all that. So, peace.